So here we have a whole bunch of different stuff, which probably doesn't make any sense right now. But what our goal is to repair this DDC based pump that has burned. And look at the bottom, doesn't look good, especially right here. I haven't opened it yet. I just gathered basically all the materials that would be needed for this first step. And the first step is when the pump burns, the plastic melts, the different components burn and melt, and it just gives off a horrid smell. So your first goal is to get rid of the smell unless you like it. Personally, I don't. So in order to do this, this specific pump used a Star T20 size Torx screw to remove it, and what you want to do is just go ahead and unscrew it. And just separate it. So here it's separated. Remove O-ring. I'm not sure what this is. There's some crusty looking stuff. I guess it's just stuff left behind from using a additive in the water, which is another reason why you shouldn't use it. But on the bottom, the first thing I noticed is that there's some sort of film on it. I'm guessing this is because it was sticky pad, a vibration dampener, or whatever that thing that comes with it to the case. Guys, if you can avoid using this, do it. All it does is it's an extra insulator, making your pump work a lot hotter than it should. Even though the majority of the heat isn't the actual board itself, that the actual coils heat up quite a bit higher, but the coils really have no risk of failure. All the failure is always in the board. And as you can see here, the board is burnt, it smells terrible, and this is why we need the rest of these components. So you want it apart right now. You don't have to go through the effort of cutting the wires or removing the PCB board at this point. It's just simply not necessary. What you do need is some sort of container. I'm just reusing something that I had for lunch, since it's going to be thrown away afterwards anyway. You're going to want to open the container and place everything into the container. You can leave the wire out since it probably doesn't smell, but everything else has to go into this container. The reason for this is that you want to remove the smell, and since the board burned, it's causing a smell throughout almost everything in this. So you want to get the smell out, unless again you like the smell, and in which my case I simply don't. So here we go, spaced everything out. You can throw the screws in there if you want, that's fine. And you're gonna want boiling water. I personally have tried so many different things since this isn't the first pump I've repaired. I've tried very many different things, and the best thing I found was detergent for clothes. And this is just so happens to be what my wife uses, so this is what I'm going to use. I'm sure others will work just as equally well. The point for the boiling water is it allows the plastic to soften up and easier open the pores and take in the nice smell of the Tide and replace the smell of the burned. Now you don't want to pour just boiling water in here because obviously it can get too hot to where the plastic's going to start changing shape. So you have some cool water, plus this has been sitting here for probably about 5 minutes now, so it has managed to cool down a bit. But you just take non-boiling water and you just pour in some so that it does mix with the boiling water. Then you take boiling water and you pour it in the same way. And I do suggest checking temperature. If it's just extraordinarily hot, pour more cold water in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some more boiling water and then stop. And then I'm going to add the Tide or whatever detergent you use. And you don't need extraordinarily large amount of it, just some will be fine. And then you're just going to want to mix it a bit. Use whatever you want. And you can mix this before putting the components in, that's fine. I just did it before for no reason specifically, but you do want everything submerged entirely. That's your goal, to have everything entirely submerged. And now do keep in mind, whatever you use, make sure you like the smell of it, because it will take over the smell of the burnt. Which, as I mentioned, I happen to actually like the smell of Tide much more than the burned. And so there we go. Everything is submerged minus the wire. It doesn't smell burnt, so we're fine to leave it out. It's pretty warm. I think I'm just going to add some more boiling water to it to top it off. And that's it. Now, what you want to do is just let it sit in there for maybe 30 minutes. If it's really bad, my previous pump, it was very, very bad. I mean, the smell was just horrific. So I actually ended up doing this process 2 times to get rid of all the smell. And you can close the lid. I guess it keeps the water warmer for longer. That's fine. You're not going to need the screwdriver for now anymore. Another thing you are going to need, other than all of that you see here, is a soldering gun or station, solder of some sort, and one of these PCB boards from DIYINHK. So this is a company or individual, I'm not sure, that designed and creates these boards, which are available on eBay to replace the failed board in your pump. I've seen a lot of these pumps, and basically everything that fails, or the majority of what fails, is the board. And so this board comes in 2 different types. One of them is where everything is pre-soldered, as you see here. Even though this one wasn't pre-soldered, I actually ended up soldering everything on there, but I didn't make a tutorial since SMD soldering isn't you know, a very straightforward thing, and they do offer a pre-soldered board. So if you don't have any SMD soldering capabilities or skills, background, so on and so forth, I do suggest you get the pre-soldered one. In general, if you've never soldered before, I probably don't suggest doing this on a DDC 3.2 or 3.1 or any of the 3 series, because those do require additional modifications, which this is a 3.2. They do require additional modifications in order to get the board working, since this was designed for a DDC1 or DDC2. If you look at it, the solder points for the coils are on the outside throughout the board, here, 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 and here. While on the DDC 3 series, all of them solder on the inside around the circle here. So they will need to be extended prior to connecting to the board, but otherwise the board will fit. And I will provide detailed instructions on how to do all of this in the next step. So I guess now we wait, and then we'll come back and then double check everything. At this point, it's been about an hour now. Wouldn't be a bad idea to get an old toothbrush and take the parts and go through and go ahead and clean them. Get whatever you can off of it if they're dirty. In this case it was, so I am going to go ahead and go through everything really well, clean it very well, because there's just some sort of strange deposits on some of this. And once that gets removed, we're back to getting everything ready for installation. And you're going to want to get a knife to remove the burnt area. That will remove any remaining smell that would possibly be there. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see or not, but the water's got it's got stuff floating on it, and that's from cleaning whatever that gunk was on there. And next part will be just to show that everything is clean, and we'll begin desoldering the board from it. The board will go in the trash, and we'll get everything ready so that we can get the pump back into functional condition. This next step, all you need is the base really, and a knife of some sort. And afterwards we will just need the main unit with the board. Once you get it out of the soapy water or whatever you use to get rid of the smell, if you go ahead and if you do that step, just wash everything off with just water, and you'll need the knife to get rid of the old plastic that's melted. It's what is still holding the smell, and you just want to follow to where everything was melted and cut it out, as I'm doing right now. And it should go very easily since it's very thin, and as you see it's already crumbling, but you do want to remove it, or you will keep that smell. The hole isn't going to hurt anything later on. You can just leave it open, or you can basically do a plastic weld. I'm not going to explain plastic welding. I'm not even sure I'm going to go through the effort of doing it, but you can do whatever you feel necessary at this point. There's no right or wrong. Just I do suggest removing the burnt plastic, as it will keep the smell for basically indefinitely if you don't remove it. And I'm going to go ahead and remove all of this, and next step will be removing the board and cleaning the remains of the melted area. For the next step, after you get this done, basically what you're going to need is a soldering gun or station, some Q-tips, some high level rubbing alcohol, and probably some tweezers. So get everything ready, and we'll continue from there.